Welcome, students. Let's begin with the next lecture in the series. We are studying Unit 1, where we are studying the important concepts related to Income Tax Act 1961. Today, we are about to study incidence of tax. In the previous few lectures, we studied residential status of an individual, of an HUF, and other persons. And now we are about to study incidence of tax. This decides that whether the taxpayer is liable to pay a particular tax or not. So, under Income Tax Act 1961, the incidence of tax on a taxpayer depends on his residential status. Along with the residential status, it also depends on the place and time of accrual of that particular income and receipt of that particular income. That whether a particular income can be called as an Indian income or a foreign income. See, tax liability needs to be calculated before paying any tax, and due to that, to particularly to handle that situation, the first foremost thing that we need to see is the residential status. After residential status, we see the incidence of tax, that whether the particular taxpayer is liable to pay that tax to the government for that particular assessment year or not. And that is decided by the status of his income, that whether that income is an Indian income or a foreign income. So now you need to learn to differentiate a particular income as an Indian income and as a foreign income. So let us understand the meaning of Indian income as per the Income Tax Act 1961. And one more thing I would like to bring to your kind notice here is that incidence of tax has been discussed under Section 5 of Income Tax Act 1961. Okay, now let us see that what is an Indian income. Any of the three conditions mentioned on the slide can be called as an Indian income. Let us see one by one. If income is received or deemed to be received in India, means that wheresoever you have earned it does not matter. If you have received that particular income in India during the previous year and at the same time it accrues, means it arises or is deemed to accrue or arise in India during the previous year, then it would be called as an Indian income. Now let us try and understand this, how it happens. Suppose I am for the particular timing I am in some foreign country, maybe in some, suppose I am in London, and I have earned some income under the head income from profession thereout. After a certain period of time, because I went there just to give a guest lecture or so, or to attend a conference or so, I returned back to India, and later on I received the income earned in London in India. If I'm receiving it in India and if I'm expecting it to be received in India, then it becomes an Indian income during the previous year. And at the same time, we are talking about accrual, means that an income is being arised or deemed to accrue or arise in India, means that we are expecting to earn that particular income in India, in the geographical boundaries of India. So this was the first thing, that where you call an income as an Indian income. See, if income is received or it is deemed to be received in India during the previous year, but it accrues or arouses outside India, even though it is an Indian income, even if it is not arising or accruing inside India, but if you're receiving it in India, it becomes an Indian income. And vice versa, the third point, if the income is received outside India during the previous year, but it has got accrued or arisen or deemed to accrue or arise in India during the previous year, then it is considered as an Indian income. See, there are 2 points here. First, where you're receiving, where the income is being accruing. These are the 2 points. If any of the 2 points satisfy, means either you are receiving it in India or either the income is accruing in India, it becomes simply an Indian income. I hope the concept of Indian income is a bit clear to you. If you see the dictionary meaning of the term accrue, may some students face problem there, then you can check out that it is some benefit or a sum of money to be received by someone in regular or in increasing amounts over a time. Means that when your payment is being accumulated over a period of time, and then you are receiving it. Means that if a payment is accruing in India, means what? That at the moment you haven't received it, but you will be receiving it in near future. So this kind of like an income. If even if you are receiving it in India, it becomes Indian income. Even if you are accruing it in India, it becomes Indian income. If you are receiving and accruing both in India, obviously it will be an Indian income. So this was easy. Now let us see which income is called as foreign income. See, if here we have two conditions. If they become satisfied, then that particular income is called as foreign income. Income is not received or deemed to be received in India. First thing, if you're not receiving it in India, there is a clause of and, that income does not accrue or arise and does not deemed, this is not expected to accrue or arise in India, then it is called as foreign income. The same two conditions, neither you are receiving nor it is accruing in India. If it is not related to in India in any sense, it is considered as foreign income. Now let us see the provisions of residential status linked with the income being foreign and Indian. See, whether income is received or deemed to be received in India during the relevant previous year, this is the first column I have made here, and whether the income accrue or arise or deemed to accrue or arise in India during the relevant previous year. See, I have tabulated these points that we have discussed on this slide, these points, these 3 points, and this particular point. These 4 points I have tabulated here for you. If you are receiving and the income is accruing both in India, it becomes an Indian income. Quite simple. If you are receiving it in India, but it might not getting accrued in India, still it becomes an Indian income because you're receiving it in India. Just same vice versa. Even if you are not receiving it in India, but if it is accruing in India, it becomes an Indian income. And on the contrary, if both the places it is no, neither you are receiving it in India, nor it is getting accrued in India, then it becomes a foreign income. I hope this table has made the things easier for you to understand. Still, if you face problem in understanding the meaning hereof, please write to me, because this is the base and it must get clear at this point only. Because later on, when we will go into complex conditions while calculating the taxable income, it would be a problem for you. So keep it in consideration at this point only. Let's move further. Now let us see the incidence of taxpayers, in what situation the income is taxable in India and in what situation income is not taxable in India. See, if you remember residential status, it has two categories. Either a person, any of the 7 persons, can either be resident in India or can be non-resident in India. Further, certain persons like individual HUF has further two categories. Either they can be ordinarily resident in India and not ordinarily resident in India. So this gives rise to 3 categories of residential status. That if a particular person can be resident and ordinarily resident, resident but not ordinarily resident, and the last category is non-resident. Now let us see, if a person is having Indian income and he is ordinarily resident in India, obviously the income will be taxable. Same goes further, because the income is Indian income, it is taxable in all 3 cases. Okay. Now all these points belong to foreign income only. Means if an income is falling under the category of Indian income, it will be taxable even for an NRI. An NRI is also liable to pay tax on income, which is called as Indian income. Whether if he is receiving that particular income in India, or if the income is getting accrued in India, he is liable to pay tax in India. Whether he is an Indian citizen or not, whether he is non-resident or so. If the income is Indian income, the tax would be calculated and taxable tax would be charged in India only. If it is happening in the Indian geographical boundaries. Now let us see certain cases where foreign income is there. The first case here is that if it is a business income, and the business is controlled wholly or partially from India. In that case, it is taxable for a resident, may it be ordinary or not ordinary, but it is not taxable for non-resident. See the case of non-resident, if the business income is there and that business is controlled wholly or partially from India, then it is not taxable for a non-resident. Next is that if the income from a profession which is set up in India, again the same case, it would be taxable for the resident, may it be ordinary or not ordinary, but it is not taxable for a non-resident. Now let us move towards the third category in this. If it is a business income and that business is controlled from outside India, the condition gets changed. Only the resident and an ordinary resident is supposed to pay tax on that particular income. A resident who is a not ordinary resident, if the business is controlled from outside India, then he is not supposed to pay tax in India. Same goes for NRI. NRI is not supposed to pay income, is not supposed to pay tax in India if that particular business is being controlled from outside India. Keep these conditions in mind because now we are moving towards numerical questions and we will be doing some. The next category, sorry, if it is income from a profession which is set up outside India, it is only taxable for an ordinary resident. See, here it is set up in India, but here it is set up outside India. So it becomes not taxable for an not ordinary resident and non-resident in India, and only taxed for an ordinary resident. Any foreign income, if you have maybe salary, rent, interest, any kind of foreign income, if an ordinary resident in India is receiving any foreign income, then obviously he will be paying tax in India and it is not taxable for not ordinary resident and non-residents in India. Now let us sum up. I hope the concepts are a bit clear to you people. This table is showing you that when, in what situation an Indian income is being taxed and in what situation foreign income is being taxed. Three categories of residential status are there: resident and ordinary, resident but not ordinary, and non-resident. For an Indian income, it is taxable for all the categories. But for foreign incomes, if they are not controlled from India, then they may not be taxable for not ordinary residents and non-residents. And if they are set up in India, then it is taxable for a resident, may it be ordinary or not ordinary, but not taxable for a non-resident. So you can see that a non-resident is not supposed to pay income on pay tax on foreign incomes. They are supposed to pay tax only when they are earning, receiving and accruing that particular income in India, and if the income is called as an Indian income, then only they are liable to pay tax in India. Else they are not liable to pay any tax if it is their foreign income. Now, residential status. Further, till now we were talking about an individual player. If an individual is earning an Indian income or a foreign income, but now let us talk about the other taxpayers also, like for a company, for a firm, for a cooperative society, for an association of persons, AOPs or BOIs. You know, these are the other forms or other types of persons that we have. Quite simple here. You know, for these categories of persons, we do have only two categories of residential status. Either they can be resident in India or non-resident in India. So, if it is an Indian income, it is taxable in both the situations, like we have seen for the other persons, for individuals and HUFs. And if it is a foreign income, obviously it will be taxable for a resident and not taxable for a non-resident. Means non-residents are not supposed to pay any tax on any of the foreign incomes. It is taxable for the non-residents only in case it is an Indian income. Then only they are liable to pay tax. Otherwise, they are not supposed to pay tax. Now, at this point, let us see that what we have learned from all the previous slides. See the case of Indian income. Indian income is always taxable in India, irrespective of the residential status of the taxpayer. Would like to have a look. Have a look. If it is an Indian income, taxable for both the categories. If it is an Indian income, taxable for all the three categories of HUFs and individuals. If it is an Indian income, received or accrued in India, then called as Indian income. Let us get back to the revision that we were doing. Irrespective of the category, the residential status, uh, irrespective of the residential status, if the income is an Indian income, it would be taxable in India. For foreign income is taxable in the hands of a resident in case of a firm, cooperative society, AOPs, BOIs, means associations of persons, body of individuals, or resident and ordinary resident. In case of individuals and HUFs, foreign income is not taxable in the hands of non-residents. Obviously, when they are non-residents, they do not have much link with the residential status. They are not present in India for a very long period of time. Even though they are citizens of India, if they are earning any foreign incomes, it is not taxable. In the hands of resident but not ordinarily residents, foreign income is taxable only in two conditions you have seen here: when it is wholly or partly, when the business is controlled from India, and when the profession is set up in India. Let us have a look again. See, it is quite simple. For Indian income, in any ways it is taxable. For foreign income, for all the persons who are resident and ordinary resident, the foreign incomes are accordingly taxable. But foreign income is not taxable for non-residents. For not ordinary residents, it is taxable only in those two situations: when the business is being taxed, is being controlled wholly or partly in India. Okay. And if a profession which is set up in India. So in the hands of resident but ordinary resident taxpayer, the foreign income is taxable only in these two situations. If you have further queries, you can connect with me, and at this point of time, the conditions for residential status along with the incidence of taxpayer, the meaning of foreign and Indian income must be clear to you. So if you are not having the clarity with the conditions of residential status and incidence of tax, then the upcoming lectures may not be that fruitful for you. So you must memorize the conditions in a nice manner. And if you face any problem in understanding the conditions and memorizing them, you may write to me. I'm there to help you. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.